This week, Apple released the new MacBook Pro with the M5 Pro and M5 Max chips. These are the world's most powerful laptop chips ever made, and they are seriously impressive. And to most people, that just means batteries last longer and the screen looks nicer. But that's actually not the most interesting part, because what Apple actually did this week is make a serious move to take AI capability off the cloud. And that shift is going to reshape entire industries in ways that most business leaders aren't even thinking about yet. The AI industry has spent years obsessed with making large language models bigger and bigger, more parameters, which require more GPUs, and more data centers burning through electricity and water. Three big tech companies have doubled down on LLMs and told everyone that this technology is going to take over the world. Their hypothesis, and it is just a hypothesis, is that AI lives in the cloud, and you're going to need to get used to paying for tokens if you want access. Microsoft has even argued that governments should pay for this token factory infrastructure because they assume that cloud AI model is the only way that this can work. And Apple just made that assumption look very fragile. In October last year, Apple announced the M5 chip. This is the fifth iteration of the M series, which was the chip that Apple developed to move away from Intel. The M5 first appeared in the MacBook Pro and iPad Pro. Then just this week, it landed in the MacBook Air, one of the world's best-selling laptops. And later this year, the M5 Ultra is coming as well. And I'll get to that in a second because this is where things get really interesting. So why is the M5 chip such a game changer? Right now, running serious AI in your organization means renting it. And that's going to cost you somewhere around $5 per GPU hour. So here's what changes. A top-of-the-range M5 Ultra Max Studio is expected to arrive later this year. At a fully maxed out configuration costing about $10,000, the unit economics are extraordinary. If you amortize $10,000 over 3 years, that's $280 a month. And the possibilities this unlocks are significant. Every use case that was too expensive, too risky, or too slow for cloud AI now becomes possible. The cloud isn't going away, and for the very largest frontier models, you're still going to need it. But on a large and growing share of real business workloads, the economics now decisively favors bringing AI back on premise. The MacBook Pro announcement this week is significant because of what it tells us about what's coming. The M5 Ultra, which we expect in the Mac Studio later this year, is built by fusing two M5 Max chips together. That's how Apple has always done it. The Max comes first and the Ultra follows. So this week, Apple is showing us exactly what the Ultra is going to be made of. The M5 Max already supports 120 gigabytes of unified memory. The M5 doubles that to 256. Let me put that in context with a real-world example from my own background. For years, I built large analytical models in IBM Planning Analytics, which is a serious enterprise platform that runs entirely in memory. The enterprise analytical model I built used to sit around 200 gigabytes in memory, and the machine to run that used to cost us around $1,500 a month just for the compute. I'm expecting that a full-spec M5 Ultra with 256 gigabytes of memory amortized over 3 years will cost about $280 a month. So that's 5 times more expensive in the cloud just for the raw compute before you've added a single line of software licensing or redundancy or support contracts. The cloud simply can't compete on price for this type of work. So we've now got a chip that runs AI dramatically faster and more efficiently than anything before at this price point. The cloud has always made sense for what the cloud was designed to do, to centralize infrastructure, reduce hardware headaches, scale on demand. But for most business workloads, that logic still holds. But AI inference is different, and the reasons are worth understanding clearly. Speed. When AI runs on the chip in front of you, rather than making a round trip to the data center, the latency disappears. That means we can talk real-time AI that responds before you've even finished asking. And for use cases where speed matters, local will win. Data sovereignty. Every organization that's wrestling with AI adoption is asking, what happens to our data when we send it to a third-party cloud service? On-device AI means your data never leaves the building. So that's not just a privacy story, it's a compliance architecture story. And for regulated industries, that could become the only acceptable answer. Cost, as we've just covered, the cloud AI infrastructure is not cheap. Every query, API call, every month of usage can compound into serious money at enterprise scale. But local inference, well, the hardware amortizes and the incremental running costs are essentially zero. Reliability. Cloud dependency is a single point of failure. Local AI works anywhere, on a plane, in a factory with no Wi-Fi, in a hospital. Intelligence travels with the device, not with the connection. So no, this isn't a return to the old ways. We're not talking about a server room full of blinking boxes in your basement, but we are talking about a single device the size of a toaster sitting on your desk running AI models locally with none of the cost, latency, or data exposure of the cloud. Apple's own attempt at playing the AI game, Apple Intelligence, has been pretty underwhelming. In fact, Apple has gone remarkably quiet about that lately, which tells you something. And partnering with Google to fill the gaps on Siri, it's a little embarrassing. But none of that changes what's happening at the hardware level. The architectural decisions that Apple has made are the right bets for the next decade of AI, and the foundation is now in place. NVIDIA has claimed one mountain, the data center, the cloud, and the infrastructure that powers the AI boom. But Apple has just claimed another, the device, the desk, the point where intelligence meets the real world. They're two different mountains and two different futures. I genuinely believe that's a significant moment and one that the market has largely missed, but it will be one that is probably remembered as a turning point for the industry. If you found this useful, please subscribe so you never miss an update, and I'll see you in the next one.